Ever since 2013, Giannis Antetokoumpo has been a Milwaukee Buck. He was 19 years old then, he's 31 years old right now. And over that time in Milwaukee, over a decade there, he has spent the past 8 or so years being a bona fide superstar in this league. He has been a 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA member, 2-time MVP award winner, NBA Defensive Player of the Year award winner, and most importantly, he became an NBA champion. But now we're starting to get some rumors, and they seem more real than ever, that the Giannis era in Milwaukee could be over. And we've had conversations about this in the past, such as in 2020, but this time it feels more real. If we were to forecast Giannis's future, back when we used to have these rumors a couple years ago, it might have been partly cloudy. But now it feels like we're getting a heavy downpour of rain, and we can't see what's ahead. So, could this truly be it for Giannis in Milwaukee? Let's first start off here by talking about why this seems so real. Because back in 2020, we had similar rumors. And there were conversations about Giannis leaving the Bucks to go to a team like the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, of course, being a team that could use a go-to scorer, and for somebody like Giannis at that time, I think the mindset a lot of us had was this. He was an undeniable superstar in the league. He was an MVP. He was an electric two-way threat and so dominant on offense, but so dominant on defense as well. A rare blend for a modern day superstar. And when you are a talent to that level, you not only feel like you can lead a team to the playoffs, or the conference championship, or even a finals appearance, you feel like you can lead a team to winning the finals. And so, if you're not in the right position to do so, and you're that level of player, you're going to have the confidence to maybe see your way out because you feel like you have a better shot at winning elsewhere. One example I want to look at here to kind of prove my point is Kobe Bryant. And when we look back on the career of Kobe, I think it's easy for us to say he was so low to the Lakers. After all, he spent his entire career there. He was the face of the franchise. He is synonymous with the purple and gold. But there was a time in the summer 2007 where Kobe Bryant revealed that he was frustrated with the Lakers front office, with the organization, with the team. And much like Giannis back in 2020, Kobe was having all the individual success that one could ask for. He was averaging 35 points a game, but what he wasn't doing was winning games. He felt like he didn't have the right team around him. He felt as though he was the kind of talent that with his scoring ability could lead you to a title, but the Lakers were not putting him in position to do so. But then with Kobe, something changed after that summer of '07 when early in 2008 they made a move for Pau Gasol, and that reopened the championship window for the Lakers. You see, they had had a drought ever since Shaq left, and Kobe was left to fend for himself. But now with Gasol, they were back in contention, and Kobe won 2 more rings and stayed a Laker for life, all because of that Gasol acquisition. In kind of a similar scenario with Giannis, he went from being in all those trade rumors back in 2020 to winning a ring pretty much immediately after that. And so, following that, the rumors kind of quieted down. We didn't really think about it anymore. He won the biggest prize that he could ever win in the NBA. He won it with a team that drafted him. He won it with a team that just a couple years ago we were saying maybe he should be on his way out. But now we are years removed from that championship team, and Milwaukee looks a lot different. They don't have Drew Holiday. They don't have Chris Middleton. They don't even have Damian Lillard, who they traded away their defensive identity, guys like Drew Holiday, for Lillard, for the offensive firepower. And that gamble never quite worked out. And now we don't even have him. So they are removed very far from that championship roster. And now the rumors are starting up again. Is Giannis unhappy in Milwaukee? After spending 12 years there, does he want something else to get him through and maybe another team that he could lead to a title? Because when you look at his play, he's playing as good as he ever has. He began the season on a tear, and in a year where Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, SGA are all having incredible years, early on, we had Giannis in those conversations because the Bucks were exceeding expectations, and Giannis was at the helm, playing as good as he ever has. He is still playing at an elite level, a perennial top 3 MVP candidate when he's healthy. But the team around him, it's not the same. And now we're starting to see these rumors pop up again about Giannis. And they feel more real this time. Because you see, we're not in a situation right now where they're making a big move, a big swing to acquire a star, to reopen that title window. You see, before the season, this is via ESPN, Giannis gave the Bucks 25 or so games to make a decision on his long-term future. And that future largely was dependent on if the team showed signs of competing in the East. Right now, the Bucks stand at 9-13. They have lost 8 of their past 9 games. They are 11th in the East right now. They are not showing signs of competing, and that's what his future is contingent on. But right now, that future of championship contention does not seem to be in Milwaukee. And that's why it feels like more than ever, Giannis could be on his way out of the forest green. And truthfully, the way that the league is today, I feel like more than ever, with the emphasis of player movement, doing what is best for you, everybody looking out for their own individual selves, I think the league today is in a state where loyalty is based largely upon what your team and what your franchise can do for you as a superstar. I brought up that Kobe example earlier, going from being frustrated in the summer of '07 to the acquisition of Pau Gasol, how that got them back into competing, back into that title window, and that really helped Kobe be encouraged and motivated to stay. Because Kobe, if he's anything, he is a competitor. That is what he was his entire career. He just wanted to compete. And with the acquisition of Gasol, that was possible once again. But I feel like that has been exemplified even further today, to which loyalty is based on what a team can do for a superstar like Giannis. And the example I want to use here is Steph Curry. And Curry is kind of the face of modern day NBA loyalty. It was him and Damian Lillard until Damian went to the Milwaukee Bucks for a couple years there. But Curry has been a Golden State Warrior his entire career. More than likely, it would take a miracle for him to not be a Golden State Warrior for life. But the thing about Curry is, he's almost always had a championship team around him as long as he has been the go-to guy in Golden State. They've had that core of Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala for that first run. And then they rebounded a little bit in 2022 with the addition of Jordan Poole, the contributions that he was making. Steph Curry always had a good team around him, and that made loyalty an easy choice for him. Now, yes, I'm not going to pretend there were not other things that went into it. I'm sure he had, the family life over in the Bay Area, everything. His whole life for his time in the NBA was in Golden State. That would be a lofty decision to move, but it does happen. Look at Damian Lillard, going from being just a hero of Portland to trying to compete for a ring with the Bucks, actually. Even those close ties to your city, they can change on a whim if it's not what's seen as best for you. So loyalty today was made easy for Steph Curry because he always had a great team around him. And that is what I feel like loyalty is largely based on in the modern NBA. But for Giannis, he doesn't have the team around him anymore. And so you combine that. You combine that with the way that we had these rumors before, but then they won a championship. But the way that that roster is now gone, long gone, the way that this roster does not look like a championship team right now, all these rumors we're having, they seem more real than ever. Like the Giannis era surely could be over in Milwaukee. And just the other day, playing against San Antonio Spurs, in the midst of all of these rumors, he suffered a calf injury, and it really felt like the nail in the coffin. It was terrible timing because we had just been having all these talks about Giannis maybe wanting to go out, and now he's injured. And so that's just another variable to consider. But if there's ever going to be a time where Giannis leaves Milwaukee, I can see it happening this year. And any move, I think it's going to take until about December 15th to see it happen. Giannis, of course, is not on a new contract, but some guys, when they resign with the team or they sign a new contract with a team, December 15th is about the time where you can start seeing them be involved in trades. You, of course, have the limit beforehand, the restriction beforehand to where they cannot be involved. They can now. So I think around that time, you're going to start to see more pieces moved and more people in the running making calls for Giannis Antetokoumpo. And if that is to be the case, and if the Milwaukee Bucks are to actually consider a transaction, this could be the end of the Giannis era in Milwaukee.